say our body is an ecosystem, will you agree with me? The body itself is an ecosystem as the digestive tract is filled with many different types of bacteria that aid in digestion and absorption of nutrients. Our cells and the bacteria are the biotic or living component of the system, and the nutrients, protein and other cellular structures are the abiotic or non-living components. Similarly, a pond is an ecosystem where plants, animals, protists and bacteria are biotic factors, and things like sunlight, water, soil, etc. are the abiotic factors. From these examples, we got an idea that biotic and abiotic factors together makes an ecosystem. Mainly, there are two types of ecosystem: terrestrial ecosystem and aquatic ecosystem. Now, let us study the structure, function, productivity and decomposition of organic matter in an ecosystem. An ecosystem can be defined as a geographic area where plants, animals and other organisms as well as abiotic components such as weather and landscapes work together to form a bubble of life. In the previous chapter, we have already studied about the biotic and abiotic components and also about how they interact with each other to form a harmonious system. Every ecosystem's physical structure is a result of the interaction between these elements. An ecosystem species composition is determined by the identification and enumeration of its plants and animal species. Have you heard the term stratification? Vertical distribution of different species occupying different levels is called stratification. So, what is vertical distribution? Everyone must have visited a forest, isn't it? There are large trees that occupies the top vertical level, shrubs on the second, and grasses in the bottom layers. This distribution of species is known as vertical distribution. Now, when we take the elements of an ecosystem such as productivity, decomposition, energy flow and nutrient cycling, they are shown to work as a single entity. To understand more about the elements of an ecosystem, let us again take the example of pond. Why is pond seen as a system that is largely self-sustaining? Any idea? It is because all essential elements of an ecosystem can be seen in one shallow body of water. Pond is a shallow body of water. The abiotic components here are soil deposits and water containing all dissolved organic and inorganic nutrients. The rate of function of the pond is influenced by solar input, temperature cycles, day lengths, and other environmental variables. Whereas the biotic components are the producers, consumers, and decomposers. The producers include phytoplanktons, some algae, floating, submerged, and marginal plants, etc. Consumers include zooplanktons, free-swimming animals such as fishes, frogs, and bottom-dwelling forms. What are the different types of decomposers present in the pond ecosystem? Fungi, bacteria, and flagellates are the decomposers. Let's now see the different events taking place in this system. The events start with the use of solar energy by autotrophs to convert inorganic matter into organic matter. Next, the consumption of autotrophs by heterotrophs and then the breakdown and mineralization of dead organic matter to release the nutrients back to be used by the autotrophs. Similarly, energy moves in one direction. It dissipates and escapes as heat into the environment as it moves up the food chain. We understood how productivity, decomposition, energy flow, and nutrient cycling occurs in a pond ecosystem. Let us now see every element in detail. Let's start with productivity. How will you define primary productivity? It is the amount of organic matter or biomass produced per unit area over a time period by producers during photosynthesis. It is expressed in terms of weight, that is gram per meter square, or energy, that is kilocalorie per meter square. The rate of biomass production is termed primary productivity. For comparing the productivity of different ecosystems, it is expressed in terms of gram per meter square per year or kilocalorie per meter square per year. Primary productivity can be divided into two types: gross primary productivity and net primary productivity. Gross primary productivity or GPP is the rate of production of organic matter during photosynthesis. A considerable amount of GPP is used by plants in respiration. GPP minus respiration or R is called net primary productivity or NPP. It is the available biomass for heterotrophs. So, what are the factors that influence the rate of primary productivity? Primary productivity is influenced by the type of plants that live there. Additionally, it is influenced by a number of environmental aspects, nutrition availability, and plant photosynthetic ability. Therefore, the rate differs in various ecosystem types. The annual net primary productivity of the whole biosphere is approximately 170 billion tons of organic matter. But for oceans, the productivity is only 50 million tons. Can you guess why ocean has less annual productivity? It is because of low sunlight availability at the deepest part of the ocean. Likewise, secondary productivity is defined as the rate of formation of new organic matter by consumer. This process occurs as a result of organic material being transferred between various trophic levels. The next element is decomposition. Let's learn about it in detail. If we take a handful of soil, we'll find at least one or more earthworms. These earthworms are considered as farmers' friend. Do you know why? Because they break down the organic matter as well as loosen the soil. So, what is decomposition? It is the process of breakdown of complex organic matter into inorganic substances like carbon dioxide, water, and nutrients. Can you name some other decomposers other than earthworms? Termites, millipedes, some kinds of fungi such as mushrooms, etc. are decomposers. Dead plant remains such as leaves, barks, flowers, and dead remains of animals, including fecal matter, constitute detritus. They are the raw material for decomposition. Now, The important step in the process of decomposition are fragmentation, leaching, catabolism, humification, and mineralization. Let's learn about them one after the other. Earthworms or detritivorous break down detritus into small particles. This is called fragmentation. Leaching is followed after fragmentation, where water-soluble inorganic nutrients are absorbed by the soil and precipitated as unavailable salts. By using bacterial and fungal enzymes, catabolism is the process of breaking debris into less complex inorganic components. Note that all the above mentioned steps occur simultaneously on the detritus. Next, humification leads to the accumulation of dark-colored amorphous substance called humus. Now, what are the peculiarities of humus? Can you state them? Humus is highly resistant to microbial action and undergoes decomposition very slowly. It serves as a reserve of nutrients. The last process is mineralization. It is the process by which humus is degraded by microbes and released as inorganic nutrients. Do you know that decomposition is an aerobic process? Its rate is controlled by the chemical composition of detritus and climatic factors. If the detritus is rich in lignin and chitin, the decomposition will be slow. And if it is rich in nitrogen and water-soluble substance like sugar, decomposition will be quicker. What are the important climatic factors that influence the decomposition rate? Soil moisture and temperature. Warm and moist temperature favors decomposition, whereas low temperature and anaerobic condition inhibits decomposition. As we have understood the process of decomposition, try to find out how soil moisture helps in the process of decomposition. Let's now summarize what we have learned.
Manorama Horizon. Learning made simple.